All right, I am back. Hopefully you can all hear me.
We're good?
Can you guys hear me?
Maybe?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Why can't I? Oh, okay.
Was that my phone?
That's my iPad.
I was like, wait.
And I did just tweet, so if you want to retweet it.
Okay, hold on. Under accessibility or Michael Lowey's?
iAccessibility.
Alright, let me find you.
Whoa, hi Alex.
Hmm. 13 unread notifications. Wow.
All right.
Oh, that's why we got. Oh, hold up. Wait.
All right. We are live and we
We're
are
good.
recording.
Alright.
Hello, YouTube.
Yes. Hello, everyone. We are back for another episode of the iACast.
Yes.
I'm excited. It's been a few weeks, so
It ha- Ow. Been a few weeks, and I really hope I don't do that during the actual show. I just got I got a shot today, and my arm is occasionally painful.
yeah. And it'll get it'll get worse before it gets better. Trust me.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you ever so much. I
I know that's encouraging. I'm getting mine on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah. All right, guys. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
I think so.
Maybe? Yeah.
I missed the safety net of a real microphone.
Well, I have my microphone set up where I can talk to it, and it's in a different position. Jason, how are my pea pops?
Very bassy, but they're not. They're also like quiet.
So they're not as like pronounced as they
Pea-poppy?
were.
Yeah, they're not as.
They're not as bad as they were on
Yeah.
the other stand.
Yeah, you honestly kind of sound like you are on your Max internals, but I know you're not
Oh,
based on your. At least I
you know
don't
what?
think you are.
I should probably check that.
Yeah, you probably should. Tap the mic.
I don't want to do that to everybody on YouTube. I'm
Oh.
just going to check my audio devices.
You very well might be on the Yeti, but
It shows the Yeti on here. So,
well, you can always smack a keyboard key. Oh, yep, that's the Yeti.
okay, good.
Yep.
Excellent. And my original audio is on Zoom, so we are
Oh.
ready to go.
I need to do that.
Yeah, mine should be.
There we go. Better? Or do we get more of my noise?
You have more noise, but your voice is a little clearer.
Okay, so we'll just keep it this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. And 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the iACast. All right, with me today I have Jason Earls
Hello, everyone.
and Taylor Arndt.
Hello, everyone.
All right, so it's been a few weeks since we've done an episode, and there has been quite a bit of tech news. And so that's what our focus is on today, is kind of what's been happening in the world of tech in the last couple of weeks. The first thing I am kind of excited about is that I found out the mask by Razer has been greenlit. It is now not just concept, it is a thing. They are developing it. Did you hear that this week, Jason?
I did actually. I had meant to to let you know about it. I guess I didn't. Um, I saw that and I was like, oh, Michael is going to be excited.
Michael is excited. I cannot wait to get one of these. I don't know how long it'll take them to make or if it'll have all the features they wanted in it, but it's going to be a thing. So, pretty excited. The next thing that I found out that's interesting, did you guys hear that there's proposal for Discord to be bought by Microsoft?
Yes. I thought that was actually a thing. I didn't realize it was just a proposal still.
It's was proposed for, what was it, 10 billion?
Holy wow.
Did you hear about this, Jason?
I did, actually, and I believe you're right. My only concern, though, is that if Discord is purchased by Microsoft, that they, and I assume they'll do this, continue to allow it to sound as nice and as clear as it currently does.
Yeah, that's kind of my big thing about this is I want it to sound as clear and good as Discord has. I don't want them to change the model, and I don't want them to add it into Teams.
That would not be ideal.
Yeah.
I think that, maybe add the technology into Teams, but leave Discord as it is. But the nice thing about Microsoft, they have been known to do that. I mean, look at GitHub.
That's true. It's basically still being run as its own entity, right?
Yes, and so that's kind of nice. I'm hoping that they do the same for Discord.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Because they would upset a lot of people if they were to make drastic changes like that into Discord. Especially, since it's used with a lot of folks in the gaming community. And, there'd be a lot of unhappy people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And then, and Discord actually, keeping on that, Discord introduced their own Clubhouse styled rooms called Stages. And we've played with Stages, and it's pretty neat. Our Discord channel has a stage room called Presentations. And one of the neatest things about it is, as far as accessibility is related, it's the only platform that I know of that has this Clubhouse feature that lets you see who's speaking. It's difficult because it doesn't always update for voice. I mean, it doesn't update for voiceover, but it's all text. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, that seems like it's going to be really handy. I mean, who knows? Maybe they can update it and turn it into, I don't know, what, a live region or something?
Something like that.
Maybe?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
one of the things that another person on our server said was that it's nice that because every user profile gets a big color, each person's a certain color, and it has their picture on the stage and who's speaking. So it's easily determined who is doing what. So I love the low vision aspect of stage rooms on Discord. But it offers the same clarity, all the same features, raised hands, all that stuff. So it's really cool. And then on to the next Clubhouse stories. Folks are starting to get Twitter Spaces. So iAccessibility and my personal account have gotten Spaces. We have a few folks on our Discord server that have it, but it's rolling out slowly, and most people may get it by the time this recording comes out. But what do y'all's Taylor? What are your thoughts of Twitter Spaces?
Well, considering that Twitter hasn't given it to me yet, and I've just only been a recipient of listening to people's rooms who have it, and a lot of my WordPress followers have it also, so they've been starting Spaces, and I like the concept, but it'll be interesting when I actually can experience it and when more people get on it, because right now there's not a lot of people on it, right? So we don't kind of know until, we see more people and more spaces are created, and it kind of becomes a little bit more popular. But I think it's a cool idea, and I think I like the audio quality. It's a little bit better than Clubhouse, I think, right?
I think it's about the same. Jason, what are your thoughts?
Meh. I don't have it yet. But, I honestly, I think in some ways Clubhouse has better audio in that the iPhone doesn't seem to. I mean, I think it does go into the in call state on Clubhouse, but it doesn't. But Spaces has that standard like Discord or FaceTime shaping of the audio when you actually are speaking in a space, whereas Clubhouse doesn't seem to have that, and Discord, not Discord, Spaces does sound better when you are a listener. But other than that, I mean, the audio is clear. You're going to have some noise reduction because of the noise reduction algorithm that iOS is using, but it sounds good. I mean, and it's very interesting because we were discovering in a space the other day that I guess they have different interfaces for when voiceover is enabled and when voiceover is disabled.
Well, that and on different phones, there's different user interfaces as well for voiceover users.
Yeah, so that's definitely interesting. But, I'm not necessarily knocking it for that. It's just an interesting observation that we had discovered. So,
Another thing that's interesting in Spaces is there's the host, and then there's 10 additional speaker slots. So you could have a total of 11 people speaking at one time. So unlike Clubhouse, you have to be a little more selective of who you allow on stage. The other problem is, well, I call it a problem. It may not be a problem. You can only have one host. So only one person can be a host of a space, and you cannot transfer that. And some audio, like pulling out headphones from from your phone, may cause a space to implode. Like, think of the sci-fi movies where like you a universe is imploding. You have like echoes, and you have like flashing of like images and stuff, like as a universe implodes on itself. So we were in a space, and the person running the space ended it by pulling out their headphones, and it caused the space to have problems. And so you would go, it still showed the space being there, but it would have me saying the same thing repeatedly over and over and over again until it kicked you out. So it was like this weird, trippy, like, this universe thing is, like, detached, like, being destroyed. So it was like this weird sci-fi thing. That's the way I think of it. So it was a very strange malfunction of the Spaces project. So it's still in development, but I think Twitter may have something going here because any of your followers can see it, and any of the followers of the speakers can see it and get notified. So it's a way to really build your follower base and to let people know who you are and what you're trying to do, and I think that's really awesome. iAccessibility will be having some spaces come up in the next few weeks. So,
yeah, it's definitely interesting. I actually had experienced a malfunction with Spaces as well, where I was speaking, and then all of a sudden, like, I heard the audio make this like sound, and eventually my whole phone started doing that, and then the Twitter app crashed, and then I reopened it and it was fine.
Weird.
So it was very weird. But I've only had that happen once, although I've not been in very many spaces, so.
Also, the sound effects that Spaces uses are kind of interesting.
Yeah,
they are, actually.
So, it's interesting, everybody is trying to get into this space of doing what Clubhouse does. And the interesting thing is, Twitter apparently thought about buying Clubhouse. So,
Really? Interesting.
before they made their project. So it's interesting stuff.
Yes, it is.
Right. And the nice thing, too, unlike Clubhouse, is, I guess, at least unlike Clubhouse at the moment, is you apparently can have a space, or at least join a space from Android officially with the actual real Twitter app.
Yes. But I saw something that Clubhouse may be coming to Android in May.
Really?
They may be coming to Android, you mean? They may be coming to Android, you mean?
In May.
Exactly.
They may be in May.
Anyway.
So I saw that in the as a talking point for a Clubhouse room after the town hall today. So.
Okay.
I wonder how the app is going to perform with TalkBack.
Well, that would be a whole nother sack of potatoes, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll have to see how that works. So we'll have our main topic after our break, but that's our main news for the last couple of weeks. But I want to talk to you guys about web hosting. As a service that iAccessibility provides, we offer web hosting for folks that want to have a website at iAccessibility. We allow people to be regular users where you could have unlimited domains, unlimited emails, unlimited space. And then we have our reseller plan, which lets you actually resell hosting. The regular account is $5 a month and resellers $10, or $60 a month for a year and $120 as a reseller a year. So we use cPanel. We use the latest versions of everything that's available. So come join us and bring your website over to iAccessibility, where we will host your website. And we also have services that you can use to get your website developed. We have Taylor's Accessibility Services, who, through Taylor here on the podcast, to build websites. And we also have Lauren's Tech Services, Lauren Flinner, who is working with us as well as a reseller. And we have a lot of other folks. So we will be, you'll be able to see those folks on the iAccessibility websites, check out their pricing, and make a decision on how to best get your website up and off the ground. So check iAccessibility.net, and we will have all of that information there for you. Cut?
Yes. Okay. You are definitely plosiving again, and I have got to answer nature's call.
Okay. Well put.
I thought I was going to be a little more prepared, but I've been trying to stay hydrated with this shot, so I guess I'll be back.
All right.
As I knock my headphones to the ground unceremoniously.
Oh, man.
We are going to stay live on YouTube. I'm just muting my video so that I could actually check the YouTube page. So
right, I'm going to mute my microphone really quick.
Anybody watching us?
I'm looking. Not that I'm seeing. I'm going to refresh the page.
You have 74 subscribers now.
Yep. We're going to be putting better social media links and stuff on the page for things like that. So
Yeah, analytics, you mean?
No. Links for people to get to our site and things, to our YouTube video, Facebook page, and all that kind of stuff. So, excuse me. Everybody on the stream, if you're watching this later, I want to thank you for being here. This is our usual live stream. We're just taking a break, and we will be back. It was a good news section. It was like 18 minutes. So.
Oops.
All right, I have returned.
You have returned?
That moment when you don't know if what you're hearing is thunder or your a video game from downstairs.
Let
All right.
me know when you're ready, Jason.
All right. Let me. Should have brought my drink up with me, but oh well. All right, I'm ready. My volume's still okay?
Yeah, you're fine.
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1. All right. So for our main topic this week, interesting news that there was a lawsuit. If you're not familiar with it, a long time ago. I think it's like 8 years old or 9 years old, maybe even 10 years old, where Google was sued by Oracle for using Android and APIs, or using Java with the Android operating system and of certain APIs that are used. And it was announced this week that Oracle lost the lawsuit and Google won. And so Google is now allowed to use Java for their for Android. So what are y'all's thoughts on this? Because I think this is kind of big news because it's been a very long and arduous battle for Google. So what are y'all's thoughts on this?
I think, you're right. It really has been a long and arduous battle for Google. That being said, I mean, I wouldn't say no to the next version of Android being HTML5 based, but it I guess is going to make things a bit easier on Google in that they won't have to necessarily do that if they don't want to. So I don't know, what that means from a developer perspective. I'm sure you've got thoughts on that, but
Yeah. I mean, I find it very interesting. Like I said, it's just been a long battle, so we'll just kind of have to see what happens. I mean, but yeah, I'm interested in your take, Michael, since you do develop Android apps, what your thoughts are.
Well, it's interesting because it's not really clear if Google would have lost, what would have happened because of every Android app developer that made paid apps is using Java. So, in the meantime, Google made Kotlin, which ran on the on the Java environment. So there's a lot of different ways of looking at it because Google's already tried to move on. They're trying to just say, well, Java's kind of not the way we want to go, but this would make sure that they don't have to really go and say, well, hey, app developers, you're going to have to pay this licensing fee and backdate it to when the, operating system was created. So that's at least good for the developers.
Yes.
But it's just, I think it's good because Java is used in so many ways, and I kind of feel like this was Oracle's way of saying, hey, let's pick on Google because they're big. And they lost, and there was appeals and all this kind of stuff, and they officially lost. So I'm glad to see that Google is able to continue using it. Developers continue using it, but it's interesting because now a lot of internal Google apps are being written in Rust for Android. So that's, it's interesting that they're opening the platform up to different languages. But I don't think we'll see an Android app be written with HTML5. I think, if they would have to put Electron on Android, and I don't think that that's going to be anything, worth doing. Maybe React Native, maybe, other things, but I could see them using something like, some other kind of way to build apps, another programming language, and then just keep using the material design model and the user interface stuff that they're using. So maybe, it would be neat to see Python, but I know that won't happen. Or even if they would use Node.js. That would be kind of cool to work with it, but I don't know. We're just going to have to see where they go. But the reason why this is important to me, it signifies that Google, has made it a precedent that they can now work with developers can work with Google in any language, Java, Kotlin, or however you want to build your apps, and you're not limited. You don't have to worry about the impending doom of Java being removed and your app be taken out of the store.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting point. I mean, because like they could technically build, like I said, apps with like Ionic or PhoneGap or any of those other frameworks, React Native. I mean, there's already a lot of React Native apps out there, or
Yep.
even Xamarin. Oh goodness gracious, oh, it's already there. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many possibilities, and it's just opened up more.
Yep. And I think native apps on Android, it doesn't matter as much if you're building natively on Android. The more I think about it, because Android is so, you're using XML, you're using all these things. So, whereas iOS, you get more of a reward for building natively. I don't think that you get that much of a reward for using React Native and things like that on the Android side. So that's kind of interesting. I never really thought about it that way, but because of how many layers that Android is built off of, one screen, one activity is basically its own app, whereas it's highly more integrated on the iOS side, where the speed, it doesn't require as much memory to make iOS apps do what they do, the equivalent on Android. So it's interesting that we have so many choices. Like I wouldn't use React Native or a lot of things on iOS, but on Android
No.
I might be more apt to do those things.
Um,
And drive fast cars?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I
there's
was
an
gonna.
outtake.
Uh, I was gonna say, yeah, and fast cars. What was I gonna say? Would you then,
Oh.
Michael? Oh, what?
Go ahead and count in.
Oh, 3, 2, 1. Michael, then would you, like, per se, if Google gave you the option to build an Electron app for Android, would you do it?
I don't know. I think
Okay.
I would. I think I would try it and see how well it
Okay.
worked.
Okay.
But the reason is that there is Chrome already on Android,
There
and,
is.
and so I think that they could be done. I just don't know how much memory they would take up and how well they would manage. But if you really look at it, every Android app takes up a lot of memory because basically
Right.
when you want to create a music player, you're creating almost a service, like a separate application. If you want to, in every screen that your app has, you're basically making a separate application. And the way that these little applications work is they talk to each other and send data back and forth. And they're allowed to do that in the walled garden because they're all in that walled garden, but they're still um, individual apps. And because the crazy thing is that if you know enough about another person's app and they donate, information, you could talk to Spotify and bring up a specific page from your app, and you go back and you're back in your app. So it's like weird that the way Android apps work, that they are not like little, you know, uh, they're not walled off as much as Apple apps are. So
Interesting. That's an interesting perspective. Like I said, especially because you are a developer and you work with a lot Android apps.
So yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting to see the change in Android in the next few years, and there was an article that was released on what Chromebooks would be getting Android 11, which is not even Android 12, and the Braille Note, not Braille Note, the Braille Sense 6. I keep changing the names on these. It's getting Android. Is it 11 or 10? I think it's 10.
10.
Yeah, I believe it's 10.
And so it's interesting seeing these newer devices get this stuff, um, and the older versions of Android going away. It's interesting to see if we continue. I think we'd have to get to like Android 15 or so before we started seeing a move off the Java platform for
Yeah.
development, because if they added, say, the ability to do, I don't know, Rust or Python or some other language as a replacement to Java, then you would be looking at only supporting that version of Android, and you couldn't go back versions. So it'll be interesting to see how long it will take before that support is adopted by developers, because Android 12 is still, as far as I know, a Java-based version of Android. So if they want to change to something new, it would start with Android 12 or Android 13, but then anything on Android 12, 11, or 10 would no longer, you couldn't support those versions of Android with your new app.
Correct.
Unless they had a compatibility layer, right? So, which if they did that, that would be because it's Java related, and you would be doing it at runtime and not compile time. That would also take up a lot of memory, more so than Java, because you're going from one thing to the other on the
Yep.
fly.
Either
So,
way, it's a memory. Either way you look at it, no matter what you do, it's going to be more of a memory hog.
so it'll be interesting to see where Android goes with Java in the future. So, I feel like this was a pretty interesting topic this time. So we will not have next time. We won't have as much as an advanced topic for our main part of our show. But I figured, sometimes these things can be educational for folks that don't know a lot about programming. So I wanted to throw this in here.
Yeah.
So with that, do you guys have any final comments to wrap up the main topic for today?
I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting to see the changes that this could bring to both Android and Chrome OS. Especially, I don't. Have we heard anything else about Google's Project Fuchsia?
There's talks that is still actually in production, so it's
I
not
forgot
been
about that.
It's not canceled, and that may eventually replace Android, but it is still in development, and so it's kind of internal thing running at Google, as far as I know.
Okay.
I just was thinking, though, I was like, I wonder how that is going to be affected at all, if at all. So,
Okay. Yeah. That's a good point. I totally forgot about Fuchsia. It's one of those things, it's like Google has so many projects. It's like we forget, you
yeah,
know.
I know.
And then when they kill something, we're like, wait, what is this? Like,
Right, it's like, you guys had a RSS feed software at one time?
Right.
really?
What?
All right. So, we'll go ahead and wrap up for today. But as usual, let's start us off. Jason, what is your pick for today, and where can we find you online?
So, I have actually been talking on my pick this entire show. And my pick is not a show, but it is the M1 MacBook Pro. So I officially, finally have the 13-inch M1 MacBook Pro. So what you guys have been hearing me speak on are the built-in microphones on the machine. So this is the Studio Array microphones. And I mean, 3, 2, 1. And I mean, I don't know if there's really anything negative I can really say about this machine yet, other than I wish the speakers were slightly louder and I wish I had more ports. But that being said, I mean, like, nothing I do on this machine has felt slow, whether it's, messing around with Logic or, browsing pages in Safari. I've had pages that wouldn't read because they were infinitely busy on my Mac read fine on this one. It's great. I'm not minding the touch bar. Autofill with Touch ID is amazing. These microphones are amazing. I mean, I love this machine. So, yeah, it's totally my pick. As far as where people can find me, you can find me producing content for iAccessibility. You can email me at jason@iaccessibility.net. You can also follow me on Twitter at JDE, that is Juliet Delta Echo 91. And if you happen to see me around on Twitter Spaces or Clubhouse, feel free to say hi.
Awesome. And Taylor, what about you? What's your pick for this week, and where can people find you online?
So you can find me online. I have produced some content for iAccessibility. You can email me at taylor@iaccessibility.net. You can check out my website, Taylor, TaylorArndt.com. You can also visit me on YouTube at Taylor's Tech Talks. So if you like to hear me talk, you can go there and check out my new WordPress series that I'm doing. You can find me on Twitter at Taylor_Arndt22. You can find me on Clubhouse and Twitter Spaces. Maybe, if I ever get it. And my pick, let's see. Well, since I really didn't get any new technology since the last time that we talked, I would say that the thing I've been doing the most lately is WordPress stuff. And I would say if you're trying to build a website, you want to make sure that you have a good form plugin. We just got something called Gravity Forms, which will help us make awesome forms with payment systems, and it's very accessible. So, that is my pick. I know it's a little bit advanced, but I had to come up with something on the fly here. And yeah, that is where you can find me and my pick for the week.
Awesome. So my pick for this week is a book series I've been reading called Expeditionary Force. The Audible versions are great. I'm in book 6. I think there's like 12 books in this series. It's very long. They're like 15 to 17 hours long. First one is called Columbus Day, and it's about the sci-fi series. Aliens come to Earth and attack. It turns out the aliens that are attacked are actually the good guys, and they were trying to make Earth not somewhere where the enemy would want to come, and then so they go out, humans go out into space, and it's about a group that takes control of this starship and helps keep humanity safe. So it's an interesting series. There's a lot of funny, hilarious moments, and the audiobooks are great. There's a AI that is hilarious. So check it out if you like those kind of books. It's called Expeditionary Force. The first book is called Columbus Day. So very awesome book series. As for where you can find me online, you can find me producing content for iAccessibility. You can email me at Mike Doise, that's MikeDoise at iAccessibility.net. I'm Mike Doise on Twitter and Michael Doise on Facebook and on Clubhouse. I have also ran several Twitter Spaces, so if you follow me, you'll see some of those. And I will be running some as iAccessibility, so check those out. So very excited to see how that goes. I want to thank everybody that's been here, and Jason and Taylor for being on the show, and anybody that watches our YouTube stream. We do this show on YouTube every time, so subscribe and leave a like and turn on those notifications so you find out when we are live on the doing our live recordings, and we try to put those out on Twitter as well. So I'm very excited that we're able to bring you this content, and I always enjoy talking tech with you guys. So it's really awesome, and we will be back in a few weeks for some more technology information and discussion. So again, thanks everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
All right, let me shut this thing down.
You know, I was actually thinking, like, do I want to pick T-Mobile's home internet service, or do I want to pick my Mac? It's like, literally, I'm going to pick the Mac.